the way?
I believe there are three key components in doing it successfully. At least that's what worked for me. First and foremost is knowing when to transition to the next level. And typically you're going to be starting a team because your business is growing. And for me, it grew to the point where I no longer had enough time for the administrative work. So I hired an administrative person. And then, in part because of the support I was getting from her, the business continued to grow. I needed help with working with buyers because I was just 7 days a week wasn't enough. And that worked out really well. Our listings inventory really grew, and I needed someone to help me service all the clients we had, because that was, to me, I knew that was key. That I was going to still have to maintain that great client relationship. And so I hired someone to help me service the clients, and it grew from there. Another administrative person, an agent to work with the buyers and service listings. And so the timing of that is very important. If you are too slow to react, then your business becomes stagnant. And if you try to grow too quickly, you begin to pace yourself, and the services decline. So that's number one. Secondly, I think it's very easy to, once you're firing on all cylinders, to think that you've got it now, you got it down pat, and you can put it in cruise control, and you can never put it in cruise control. You have to stay on top of your business, always try to reinvent yourself, and keep ahead of the curve and what the competition is doing. And then thirdly, I realized, and anyone who wants to grow should know this ahead of time, the larger you become, the slimmer your margins become. And so you have to be mindful of that and make sure that you're still able to turn a profit. I think there's that balance too. A lot of times in life, whether you're running a business or working out, you think you're at the end of the rope, and you may only be 50% there. But at the same time, if you start losing the touch point and the relationship connection with your clients, then that's not a good thing, and you probably need to expand. To be a successful team leader, there's a lot that goes into the sauce, but I would say there's three general areas that would be important to focus on, at least it was for me. First and foremost, when people are joining the team, one of the things they're telling you is they want accountability. And understanding the importance of structure and accountability is one thing, but you also have to live it as the team leader. I mean, do as I say and not as I do no longer works. You have to live the accountability factor yourself. And then, of course, in addition to the leader, the people that you have on the team is very important. When it comes to support staff, number one, first and foremost, you want to hire someone who has an "it's my pleasure" attitude. If they have real estate experience, also that's great. But it's really most of the things they're going to do, the support staff person is going to do, you can teach. You can't teach attitude. And then thirdly, the agents that you hire. Very important that the agents that you hire fit into your culture, and that your visions are aligned. Where they want to grow their business aligns where you want to grow the team in your business. And that comes with practice. The more people you try to recruit or interview, the better you become at that. Well, I've gotten to the point really where I can tell from the interview process if there's a good, high propensity chance that the agent is going to turn into a productive one. And it's almost counterintuitive that I can tell who probably is going to struggle. The engineering types don't make it in real estate. The person who has to analyze things 8 different ways to Sunday, usually while they're analyzing, the agents who are producing are picking up the phone and getting the business. I think as far as attributes are concerned, age doesn't really factor into it too much. The challenge for agents who are very young, say early 20s, there's a lot of positives to that. And as a team leader, as a company owner, you want to keep the company young and have a nice mix of mid-aged, seasoned, and younger. The challenge with being very young is that so much of this business is about your network, and your network isn't as large when you're younger, number one, and number two, even if it is, you're in an age range where people aren't buying and selling real estate. They may be doing rentals, and that's great and a good way to get your feet wet, but it's not a very good way to accumulate income. Creating a business plan is essential. Too many people, team leaders, managers, don't have the team members write a business plan, or they do it in January, which is way too late because you've already missed a month. So we write our business plans, we begin in September. The goals and strategies have to be well-defined and measurable. So if an agent wants to produce X amount of volume, and part of their strategy is going to be increase their business from their network, to use that example again, that really doesn't tell you anything. It's how you're going to do it. I'm going to have lunch with 5 people in my sphere every month. I'm going to call someone in my center of influence every day, at least one person. I'm going to have a quarterly party for everyone in my sphere, and whatever it is. So they're specific, measurable. The strategies need to answer who, what, when, and how often. Well, connecting with your team members needs to be a team leader's number one priority. And part of that connection leads to a lot of good things, and one of them is really a goal review. Often, talking to your team member about their goals, how their strategies are coming along, are they producing results? If not, why? Are they not executing them as frequently as they thought, or if we're just not giving them enough time? You really want to dig deep as to what's working well and what isn't. To me, it's all about consistency. I've seen the most creative, innovative, well thought out business plans known to man fail because they weren't executed consistently. I can talk to the agents and try to make light of what they're doing, but at the same time know that it's serious, and advise them you could stand in front of the storefront all day long and smile at people, and if you do that every day, you're going to get business. So it's really about the consistency. Open houses, calling inspires, keeping in touch with your sphere of influence, direct mail pieces, all your marketing, your Instagram, Facebook, whatever you're doing social media wise, it always comes down to consistency. I built my business as a single agent on direct mail, and it really, it's the reason I'm here, because I was consistent with that. And it wasn't unusual for a seller to look at me, and it's kind of with a confused look. You're doing all this business, it doesn't seem that hard. Why aren't other agents sending out direct mail pieces also? And in my mind, I was thinking they are, but they're doing it once or twice and they say this doesn't work, and they stop. And so it's the consistency, and Bill convinced me of this. This week in, week out, month in, month out. Just don't give up, and finally will take hold, and it did, and it took off to the point where I did no other prospecting other than sending out direct mail pieces, picking up the phone, someone calling me because they were thinking of selling their home and wanted to listen with me. I think, we talk about how the business has evolved and technology and how that comes into play. Technology is just one more piece of marketing yourself. It still comes down to blocking and tackling, sticking close to your knitting, and doing the things that worked 30 years ago, 40 years ago, still work today. The difference is the woman is not sitting at her desk with her Rolodex of names. Now she's pulling them up on the computer, keeping in front of them that way. So it really comes down to consistent prospecting, and that's the way you grow your business.